This is Myron Chamberlain at the Chamberlain Group at Prime Lending. We've been originating home loans in Phoenix and serving clients for 16 years. Today I want to bring you a story about a client who just purchased a home last month using a program called the Home in 5 program. And the beautiful thing about this program is you can get your money for your down payment plus most of your closing costs. The story I want to bring you today is about a client who purchased a home, as I said, last month. The price was $205,000. Let me share the details with you about her situation and why we believe this client's going to take zero money of her own up front to purchase the home, and she will be worth $60,000 through purchasing the home in 5 years' time. So, the details about the client's situation: she was renting a one-bedroom townhome, paying $1,400 a month. She purchased a new townhome for $205,000. The mortgage payment, with including the association fee, was $1,886 a month. So she took almost a $500 increase on her monthly payment to purchase the property. The seller contributed $4,000 towards her closing costs, and she purchased it with zero funds of her own at the time of closing. The $1,000 deposit she made was refunded back to her. It's called an earnest money refund. So she literally only had to pay $350 for the home inspection. That's it. So that's the details of her situation. That is the program. In order to be eligible for the program, you have to have a 640 credit score. Your income has to be less than $138,600 per year, and you cannot own any other real estate. If you meet those qualifications, chances are really good you would be eligible. So, in examining how we get from zero to $60,000 and how we can make a claim that she is going to have a net worth of $60,000 by having owned the home, I've examined this through 4 different ways, and we believe that when you add these 4 ways up, she'll have earned $60,000. Here we go. Way number 1. So the first thing you look at is saying, what's the difference between her mortgage payment and the rent? And in this case, we clearly know that it's almost a $500 increase on the mortgage versus the rent. So, rent, as we know, never stays the same. Anybody who rents knows that when their lease renews, their landlord typically calls them up and increases the rent. It's called rent appreciation. In Phoenix, our rent appreciation is about 6% a year. That's been very common over the last 12 years or so. In 2021, we saw significant rent appreciation. We went up almost 27% in a single year. This year, we're down a little bit, but on the whole, it's about 6%. So your $1,400 becomes $1,480. Then it goes to $1,570, and at the end of 5 years, your $1,400 becomes $1,767. So still less than what the mortgage payment was, but arguably we're getting closer, and in year 6, it probably would exceed what the mortgage payment was. So over 5 years, we know that that client's gonna pay over $18,000 more by having a mortgage payment that is higher than the rent payment. The second category is home appreciation. Home appreciation is simply the value of your home appreciating or getting more and more expensive over time. We know this happens. If you talk to somebody who purchased a home 20 years ago, they would say, I can't believe prices today. This house used to cost me $100,000, now it's $500,000. So we know that real estate gets more expensive over time. That's called appreciation. In Phoenix, on the whole, if we call it 6%, that's very conservative based on what numbers we typically have here in Phoenix. So your $205,000 home is worth $205,000 on the day you buy it. A year from now, that's going to be worth $217,000. Then it goes to $230,000, and at the end of 5 years, that home presumably would be worth $274,000 at the end of 5 years. So the equity you have is money to you, but you only realize it when you sell it. Nonetheless, it's your money at some point when you choose to sell. So the equity that our client has created through the value of the home going up is $69,300 over the first 5 years. The third category of wealth that she is building is through what is called principal reduction. Principal reduction is the fact that when you make a mortgage payment, you pay the bank back your principal plus your interest, and the money you owe the bank is getting less and less because you're paying the loan back every month over the 30-year time frame. In 5 years, our client would have paid back approximately $8,000 to the bank in principal reduction. The fourth category you realize savings in when you purchase a home is what is called tax savings. And tax savings is paying less in income taxes because you own a home versus renting. As a single filer in 2023, your standard deduction that the IRS gives you is $13,850. That means that if you don't have itemized deductions exceeding $13,850, such as mortgage interest, auto registration, property taxes, charitable giving, those types of things. If they don't exceed $13,850, you're just going to elect to take the standard deduction. As soon as you buy a home, you almost always go over the standard deduction because you're paying interest on the mortgage. In our client's case, she exceeded the standard deduction and she's now going to get to itemize her deductions, and over the course of 5 years, we anticipate conservatively that you'll have approximately $3,000 in federal tax savings, excluding any state tax savings. Looking at those 4 categories, we see that she lost about $18,000 through a higher mortgage payment. She gained $69,000 through equity on the home. Her principal paydown was $8,000 and her tax savings were $3,000. Conservatively, we can estimate that she could sell the home, pocket $61,000 by owning versus renting. We believe you can do the same. We are proponents in most instances of clients owning versus renting, as we know real estate generally always gets more and more expensive over time. That's how our client did it. You could do the same. We would love to help you research your options and see if the Home in 5 program may be a solution for you to turn zero of your own money into $60,000 over the next 5 years. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.